my first music video, I remember like crying to my dad, like, I'm
Who
never
was your
getting
first-
married. Snoop Dogg, DJ Quick, Corrupt.
That was your first music video?
Yeah. My first, like, semi-professional.
Big one, right?
Yeah. And so, girls all over the place. Boyfriends, like, giving them water. Like,
What?
the girls are, like, kissing on the artist. And it's just, all kinds of debauchery that I saw. I even brought my dad to that set. And he was like, what is this guy doing? I'm like, what is he doing? And all these girls were lined up. And he was sitting there oiling in between their legs and everything.
No
And
way.
and so I was like, how am I going to find a wife out here?
You're not.
Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Tacos and Shawarma. Today we are here with our guest, Matt Alonzo, who is a wonderful filmmaker based here out of LA, correct?
Yes.
I'm your host, Sebastian, and our other host is here, Elle.
Hi.
How are you today, Elle?
I'm good.
You're doing great?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Your hair looks amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. We started on a rough patch. I cut my face. And then we met outside. We went to CVS together. We kind of had the podcast in my car. But,
Already?
Yeah.
Yeah, pre-discussed.
Yeah.
We were on the same podcast with the same lady, and then we met on Instagram. And then we realized we're like almost the same person.
Yeah.
And now he's here.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to getting to know the same person that you find yourself in Littell.
You keep calling me that.
Fuck.
Why do you think you know me like that?
Ridiculous. She wants me to call her by Al. I'll call her by Al.
No one ever instructed you to call me.
That's how I met you.
No.
Yeah. 100%.
100%. Okay, let's just move on.
We're moving on. Tell me more about yourself. How did you get into filmmaking?
Yeah.
Break us down a little bit on that journey. And
Okay.
I'd love to talk about that a little bit more.
Growing up, my parents came from two broken homes. My grandma was a heroin addict on my dad's side, and my mother's side was from Mexico. So they were really strict Catholic and she didn't really have a place there. She was kind of rebellious. So they met one night at a party, had sex, and a couple months later, my mom found my dad eventually and was like, hey, I'm pregnant. And my dad's like, I don't know you, but I'll learn to know you and I'll learn to love you. And with not having a childhood, my dad and my mom, they wanted to focus on like the kids and also like document everything. So my dad went out, saved up all his money and bought a camera and then just had it in my face constantly. I hated it. Yeah, I hated it. And but then when he plugged it into the TV, I thought I was famous. And I also saw my parents' reaction and I knew, okay, that this box can generate, emotions and outcomes that I obviously as a kid, you want to make your parents happy. So I wanted to do that. So I just started taking the camera and making little short films. And that's kind of how it started. And throughout high school, I was still a filmmaker. I mean, like a mess around filmmaker, skate videos, things like that. And played football. Graduated, football wasn't going to go anywhere. So I was like, okay, I should go to film school. And we went to go tour it. And it was way too expensive. My parents were like, sorry, it's just not for us as a family financially. So I went to City College and I was working at the Gap for the city of Santa Barbara, going to City College and then driving all the way home, which I lived about an hour away. So I was doing all that. And then on top of that, I was helping one of my friends who actually got into the film school that I went to go tour. Not got in, he just could afford it. And I was apparently making really good grades with all the help that I was giving to him. I was doing all his projects pretty much for him. So he pulled my dad aside. He's like, you have to get your son here. He's acing, like I'm one of the highest scoring students in the class and he's doing all my work. So whatever you have to do, figure it out. So my parents refinanced the house and sent me to film school.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh
so,
my God.
I mean, by that time I'd played football. I was like, varsity freshman year. I was, homecoming king. I'd already partied like crazy. So once my parents did that, I took it really seriously. Did internships out in LA. I was driving 2 hours, go back to school. And by the time I graduated, I had a full-time job out in LA. So, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, dude. Congratulations on all of that.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Great story.
First of all, your parents are awesome.
I know.
My God.
I know.
I'm not gonna say anything about my parents, but that is amazing.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful. Like, is your dad like an amazing guy?
absolutely. My dad and my mom. I mean,
And your mom.
they were,
He just sounded like he was like, "Oh, I'll just make it." No, the way you were telling the story, he's like, "I don't know you, but we'll make it work." Like,
well, my dad came from a family in a childhood where he would go on maybe a vacation with the boys club and then come home, and the apartment that he lived at would be completely empty, and it would have they would have been evicted, and he wouldn't know where to go. He'd sit on the sidewalk and just, at 7 or 8 years old. I can imagine that sort of feeling. And so his grandma took care of him, and he just wanted what he didn't have. So he was willing to do whatever it took to make that work. He really didn't believe in divorce really at all until it was like really forced upon him. My mom kind of, lost her job and then got into some drugs and
your mom?
Yeah. This was like 20 years. I was already out of school. So it must have been when I was about 25, 26. And she just, she had depression. So she had a rough childhood as well. So she was always kind of fighting with some of those demons. And it just got to a point where, they consumed some of her life and,
wow.
Depression and things like that. And so my dad was there. And they tried to make it work after that, but unfortunately, they went their separate ways. But it took what most people would never even endure, never even think about. My parents they believed in marriage that much, and so growing up, my parents didn't know each other. They were 16, 17 when they conceived me, so they were really young. So I only saw them dancing, joking, and never fight. I never saw a fight ever.
Wow.
My dad would always go, they made an agreement to always argue. If they were going to argue inside their room, not loud, and agree to disagree sometimes. They were that type of parents. And yeah, and it made me feel extremely secure, and then obviously like, having that sort of communication. They were very open with me. I could do what I needed to do in the house. My dad would always tell me like, you're going to have, you make your own choices, but you're going to have, things, whatever comes after that, it's because of your choices, so make good ones. If you want to make bad ones, then it's on you. If you want to make good ones, it's on you as well. So, I was kind of able to do not whatever I wanted, but I was more led by example, not by force. And that really, really, really helped me.
It's funny that you say it that way. There's something that I came across recently talking about parenting styles.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, boil everything down. If you want to like make something into black or white, right? They were saying there's really two types of parents, a custodian and an engineer.
Mm.
And with these two parents, they have implications for both styles of parenting, right?
Mm-hmm.
The engineer is the type of parent who's like, you're going to do this. You're going to be this way. You're going to take your piano lessons. There's no way about it. You're going to go do your soccer lessons. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to grow up to be the way that I want you to be, right? This is
engineering the
engineering.
child.
Yeah, this is how I want you to be. This is how I was. This is how our family's been or whatever. You're going to have this dictated future,
Yep.
right? Versus a custodian parent, whether it's by knowing this or whether it's by intuition or how they were raised, right, is one more of, you're going to be you. I understand that you are a personality of your own. You have bits of your mother, you have bits of your father, you have bits of your grandparents and every generation before you. We're only here to take care of you.
Yeah.
We're only here to support what is going to blossom from you naturally.
Yeah, my parents were kind of, I know there's only two, but my parents still dictated in some ways in terms of like going to church.
They gave him a camera.
And doing things like that. But they also were very open in terms of like me being who I was. And I think the biggest thing that helped me, and I asked them about this, 30 years down the line, but it was really like anytime I got in trouble, they would sit me down and, say, hey, well, how do you feel? I'm mad because I didn't want to eat my broccoli. I wanted to eat my whatever, right? And so they would say, okay, that's great. You can feel that way. You're still punished, right? You're still grounded because you didn't eat your broccoli, but they allowed me to have a voice, and they allowed that to be important and to like have some sort of weight. Not necessarily that I got off of the hook, because I never got off the hook, but the fact that it wasn't just like punishment, the end of sentence, really like allowed me to be comfortable with who I was and just kind of be confident. And I asked them, how did you learn that? Because you guys had no parents, no parents. How did you guys, it wasn't something that was taught to you. And he said, we went and took you to the doctor. While we were at the doctor, there happened to be a therapist there who oversaw, I guess, me, because I was really wild as a child. They didn't know how to put boundaries on me, and they kind of gave me what I wanted as a really little guy. And so I throw these tantrums and stuff, rip all my posters off the wall, and they just didn't know what to do with me. And so the therapist is like, look, I can't take any more clients, but I'm going to give you a couple,
Pointers.
yeah, pointers that, take these with you and do what you will with them. And one of them was to let me talk, so I can get out whatever it is that maybe that was pent up, and then also give me a pillow and let me hit that for a set amount of time, and then after that it was over. And so those two things really, they changed my life.
Wow.
And my parents, they just took her advice and plugged it right in. So,
I mean, I'm assuming this has had a huge impact on you as a creative.
yeah,
Being able to foster relationships on set as a director, having actors blossom, on set,
of course,
the visuals and everything come together.
yeah.
I mean, where do you see yourself now with your creativity? Like, I know you said you're a filmmaker. Is there a type of film that you want to create? Is there a specific story you eventually want to tell? Where's that journey
That's
taking you?
great question. I mean, I like drama. I like character arc. I like character development in terms of us coming to, different conclusions about life and where we want to go and what's important to us. The only caveat there is that it takes really good cast to do that, and obviously a really good script. And as I'd be a first time feature film director. That would, that's a little. It's not that easy to acquire these sort of things, and the budget and the risk of failure in terms of, what you need to put into it financially to get the outcome is too high. So I'm like, okay, I want to go with something still character driven, but more on the horror side, not like slasher, but more mental thriller, something like that, where I can still generate audience, shoot for a really low budget, and show the studios that I know understand the business of filmmaking, so that eventually I can make the films that I want to. But it's just you can't go out there and you can have a great film, and if it doesn't do well or doesn't make its money back, you're a failure in terms of the studio's eyes, and if they're going to give you money for your next film. So, I was signed to ICM for about 5 years, and that's pretty much what I took away from that, is that I need to understand the business of it and show the studios I know the business. Then I can get to the stories that I want to tell. So they told me the first thing in film school, first day, was like, you want to make money, make a horror movie. All right, everyone pull out your syllabus. So, wasn't really a horror guy growing up, but as I developed my style and just, I'm pretty out there. I try a lot of things, maybe because I have so much confidence. I don't know. I've never really looked at the correlation between that, but it's an amazing question and something I definitely want to look into a little bit more. So I just want to implement all these skills that I've acquired from doing music videos. I've done a lot of music videos, and put them into a feature film so it's very stylized. But at the end of the day, the stories I want to tell are, the gut wrenchers, the really, really crazy stuff, and the stuff that we deal with on an everyday basis that people seem to want to gloss over. Although, if you were going to go see a movie, right, and your life's already a little hectic, do you want to go watch a story? I mean, I guess if it's in the end it's inspirational and motivational, maybe, but it's like your life's already tough. You can go sit through an hour and a half of another person's life that's even tougher, right? Maybe at the end you get some hope, but I just think most people don't really want to do that.
I hate horror movies.
Yeah.
I hate them. I can't watch them. I'm scared.
What about like The Ring or like?
No.
Because that's not really horror. It's like more mental thriller.
What do you watch actually when it comes to films?
Comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly comedy.
Mostly, yeah, just like easygoing. I like just stand up.
Love. Rom-coms.
I don't even watch a lot of movies, but I just like interesting, but nothing scary. Like I don't even
What's
like
scary?
scream. Like
that's a slasher.
I don't like anything scary.
You like ghosts, paranormal, any of that stuff?
No, because then I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna hear something, and then I'm gonna be like, "Oh
that's
shit!"
the best part, though.
No.
That's why people watch it. Just like they go on roller coasters. I hate roller coasters.
I hate roller coasters.
Yeah, see, same person, except for the horror thing. That's one of our differences.
Yeah, I'm scared just because I'm scared. Like I saw the movie with the clown and the kids.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. You know what traumatized me as a kid? Chucky.
Okay.
By accident, I saw that at 3, and ever since then, I don't like scary movies.
My sister hated Chucky as a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a toy replica of Chucky. Yeah, I had. She
put it on her bed and all kinds of stuff. You
so
scare her with her?
I did, right. It was like a $600 Chucky doll. I had gotten a commercial. That's my childhood, right? Was always like, you want to do something, book a commercial, pay for it yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? My Ginger is my sister. Like, you guys want to go to Knott's Berry Farm? book a commercial and we'll go to Knott's Berry Farm, right? One of my little commercials that I booked and got, I had a little, side money, and I was like, I'm going to get a Chucky doll because I loved Chucky. I got it, never got to see it for years because it ended up in a closet.
Why? Because she was scared.
Because she's scared of it. Yeah,
man.
yeah. And she's a little girl,
Of course.
and so Daddy's favorite went away.
Yeah.
Right. And it's funny that you say that because it took me really long time to get my sister like into horror films. Like Leprechaun, she thought was funny.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty funny.
We got to watch
in the
Leprechaun.
Hood. But see, I don't really like horror. I don't like I never really liked them. And then I started, maybe it's just because of the adrenaline rush. I mean, I think that's why, you like them. I mean, I like them. And I started watching like paranormal stuff on YouTube and that really like creeped me out even more. But it fascinates me. I like it. I like the.
My sister and I have our little time together that we spend, and we make sure we dedicate ourselves, to just bonding.
Yeah.
We will like do Ghost Adventures marathons. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I like they go to like graveyards with like one person and he's like live, and all this stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm paranoid for a week afterwards.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can't watch this by myself anymore. I did, and actually, I watched them with my mom. She's like, I love horror. She loves horror movies and stuff growing up. So I showed her this. I was excited, thinking, yeah, you're gonna love this. And she like saged the house, turned it off, and was like, I can't do this because she's like, this is real. And I'm like, oh, okay,
right, exactly.
But I do. I sage my apartment at least.
I think everyone in LA sages their apartment.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, no, like I definitely do. Even
I'm walking with the spirits.
Yeah.
Right?
Even mirrors. Like I have.
Mirrors creep me out, especially at night. I can't
really?
do it. Hell yeah. Because that's
so
a portal.
Candyman,
exactly.
Candyman?
Well, that's
a portal.
That's why you cover mirrors during Shiva, right? Because it's a
See, I don't know. I don't watch scary movies. I don't know.
See, I know that's why she does it. She's like, I don't want to know any of this.
I don't want to know anything.
I love my mirror at night. I just look.
Yeah, hell no.
No, but remember when they used to close yourself in the bathroom when you used to like scream candy or whatever?
But see, if you did all that stuff,
Bloody Mary,
whatever. Yeah, I'm not into it.
But you did it.
Yeah.
See, that's why. See, because I never did that as a kid. I was so scared of that stuff as a kid. Now that I'm open to it.
I'm still scared.
I wouldn't. As a kid.
I wouldn't yell. Yeah. I wouldn't do that though, because I've seen them do that and then film it, and then a person pop out.
You know what I
did?
I summoned a spirit before.
Oh, see,
in real life, I got like a paper, a thing I've had, and I actually saw a fucking like a light. It was like an aura of something, and after that. Not only that, when I was a kid. When AOL was a thing. Yeah. So, when you're, so when you're a kid, you know how like, you're up, right? Like you don't go to sleep like when your parents go to sleep. So I'm up, I'm in the chat rooms. And then I just hear something like call my name, like whisper. I'm like, what the fuck was that? So I run upstairs, right? I close myself in my room. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to sleep. And I start hearing like the fucking, someone open a drawer and like the,
oh yeah, that's exactly what happens in the videos.
All the fucking what's it called? The silverware is like moving. So I'm like, well, my mom woke up. So I opened the door to go tell my mom that there was something that whispered my name downstairs and nobody was there. I go in her room, she's sleeping. And I was like convinced, I'm still convinced that I heard the silverware, but there was nobody there.
That's pretty spot on to what the videos are.
Yeah, so after that I'm like literally traumatized for life.
That means that you have the gift though.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, you're tapped in.
Yeah, I'm tapped in, but I just
but she's unplugging herself constantly.
I'm scared of that shit. I'm like legitimately scared of it. That's why I don't watch scary movies.
That makes sense though. Yeah. I can understand that. I don't know if I'd tap in if I got the feeling I had that.
Hell no. That shit is scary.
Yeah,
shit.
no. I mean, if you can accept it, and then it's
right.
You're like, oh, there's 15 people in this room with us right now.
Right, like the mediums.
Yeah.
Do you watch those shows?
Yeah,
like, will you watch a medium
like
show?
psychic shows? Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty. It's
not scary.
Well, scared's what you make of it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think it's perspective. Yeah. It's all about strength, right? If you have like that strength that what you can address whatever's coming to you. You'll be fine. I
want to tap into that though.
I don't technically have that. My sister makes fun of me. My sister's not scared, right?
I'm scared.
She'll be like, "It's okay, it's fine." Just
close your eyes,
close it out and phase it out. My family makes fun of me because like I will pass out if I see a shadow in the dark. People like if someone's breaking into the house, not a problem. What? I grew up in East LA. Small little bat. Turn your lights off. Yeah. You know what to do. Right,
but if it's
paranormal, like shadow in the corner, right? I'm done.
You know what's crazy? Like a year ago, my assistant's friend, he was in his apartment with his girlfriend, and they took a video of this thing. Like I don't know why they took a video, and there was a ghost in the video.
Yeah, I mean that's what I watch. I watch these things on YouTube where this guy goes and collects all these videos from around the web and he puts them on one countdown, and it's stuff just like that where you're like, that's not. I mean, it could be fake, but the chances of it being fake
it wasn't
are
fake.
are very slim.
It
So you're
wasn't
like,
fake.
yo, this
They
stuff
moved
really
out.
exists.
They moved out a week later.
That's what I like to watch. But I would love to bring that sort of energy into a feature. I think that would be super cool. So maybe
Bring the entity.
no,
No, the
fake.
idea.
Yeah, just the energy of like I mean, I guess it's kind of already been done in terms of the found footage and stuff like that. But just this stuff looks real, and it's and these people are like, I don't believe in ghosts and stuff.
You
and
want
then
you want to
know,
hear something? Even when you look at certain people, like I used
see,
to
I don't
live
have that.
downtown.
Yeah, you have it.
If I used to live downtown and I used to work at a weed shop, and sometimes I would look at these people, these home, and I could see a demon in their eyes.
Well, there's
I had
psychopaths.
I'd have to just be like this,
A psychopath. I mean, I study psychology. Like that's kind of what I really am fascinated by, and that's what kind of got me into politics. Is like studying how important the nuclear family was, and like really, obviously, connecting that to my parents and how the way that they raised me. Like, why are some people different? Why are people? And then I got into like serial killers and really trying to figure out what makes them tick. Like, what can make somebody go this?
They got abused.
Or they just think they got neglected.
I mean, there's
neglected, abused. Yeah,
they have done profiles on several, serial killers.
Something
or
happened to them.
There are scenarios in which not necessarily, right? They're
they're mentally ill.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the mental illness comes, and that's what I really want. I was like fascinated to learn about, and then obviously it helps me with directing, being able to say, hey, when you were 7 years old, you didn't have this, or you had this, so now you robbed the bank in this fashion, right? I don't need to tell them like how to kick the door. I just tell them, we do some character work in terms of like what they grew up with, so then that sort of reaction becomes like the only choice that they have. But it's fascinating to me that the correlation is so dead on.
So I want to circle back to something that I find fascinating, because from the very short conversation we had leading into this before we started rolling, and the conversation we've had right now, you have mentioned this emphasis and this compassion towards the idea of a nuclear family, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The entertainment industry is probably the least friendliest.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that
going into it.
No, absolutely not. I mean, for me, it was, at 18, my whole life, when people asked me what I wanted to be, it was like a father and a husband. That's all I wanted to be, because I saw my parents, right? My parents were also heavily involved in terms of like chaperoning prom, coaching my football teams or whatever, right? And my little sister's skate parks, whatever we needed to do, they were like 100% involved. And they were my heroes, and they still are my heroes. So for me, it was like, most people, you ask them what they want to be, and they say whatever their hero is, and so that's what I wanted to do. But my dad's like, you need to be able to financially support a family, right? And so I'm like, okay, so I got to do something. And
what did your dad do for a living?
he worked for he worked for the city of Santa Barbara, and he had no sort of, he had no sense of himself, so he really didn't know what he liked, and then a baby popped out, so he had to go get a job. Originally they lived in like hotel rooms. My mom would clean the hotel. My dad would
do the
motels.
maintenance?
Sorry, yeah, motels. My dad would clean the cars.
Oh wow!
And eventually he got a job for the city of Santa Barbara doing water management, wastewater management. So it was good pay. It was consistent, and you kind of get into like a union when you work for the city. And so he was just but he would show up with his iron creased uniforms, and when you work for the city, you don't really have to do that, right? So then it's kind of like once you're in, you can't really fire you, so everyone kind of does the least as possible, right? So you got people coming in with their same thing they've worn for 2 months, and then my dad comes in all creased up, brand new. They're like, who are you? Who do you think you are? Like, because then if you raise the bar, now I look bad because I have to, and so he dealt with a lot of that, but he didn't know any other way. But so I just got into filmmaking because I was good at it, and I knew that I didn't know that there could be financial, any sort of financial gain there. That was like a job, and I was good at it. So I was like, all right, let's do it. Then I got into the industry. My first music video, I remember like crying to my dad, like, I'm never getting married. Snoop Dogg, DJ Quick, Corrupt.
That was your first music video?
Yeah. My first semi-professional.
Big one, right?
Yeah. And so, girls all over the place. Boyfriends like giving them water, like
what?
The girls are like kissing on the artist, and it's just all kinds of debauchery that I saw. I even brought my dad to that set, and he was like, "What is this guy doing?" I'm like, "What is he doing?" And all these girls were lined up, and he was sitting there oiling in between their legs and everything.
No
and
way.
And so I was like, how am I going to find a wife out here?
You're not.
I know, but I didn't. This was 15 years ago.
So you're actually going to buy into what she just said right now?
I mean, it's really hard.
But it's not impossible.
I
He
will
has
give
to
you
go
that.
to
But see, I go by
Indonesia.
probabilities, not possibilities.
Ah,
And that's just the way my mind thinks. So is it possible? Possible. Is it probable? Not really.
not probable by choice though. Where is that prioritized on your list right now in terms of family, woman?
Number one,
Really?
finding a woman for sure.
Ah.
I mean, because
But what about family?
Well, I gotta
and
find
like,
a
How are
woman
you
to
gonna
create
have
a
a
family.
family without a woman?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can have a woman as a girlfriend, right?
No,
I don't
nobody
want a
wants
wife.
a girlfriend.
Yeah, I want a wife.
We don't want girlfriends.
No, people do want girlfriends
because they're
especially-
weird.
Well, no, they just don't
'Cause
understand.
they don't
that you
know.
should
Yeah,
date
they
with
don't-
purpose.
Yeah.
right, and date with intention. But I kind of like shut down and was
Wait,
like,
how old are you?
38. I just turned 38.
Okay, so maybe I think when you're in your 30s, you realize that it's just not as fun anymore as in your 20s. You just date for the fuck of it. Then in your 30s, you're like, you know
See,
what?
I didn't do that. I
You
didn't do that at all.
You were
no.
working.
I was working, but I was dating.
You were dating to get married?
Yeah.
Oh, because you know what? Maybe,
Actually, no, I didn't. I mean, because they wanted to marry me. Actually, no, every girl up to this point, pretty much. I mean, once you date for like a year, you should be looking at marriage, right?
right?
Yeah. And I dated these girls for 3, 4, 5 years. So
Yeah,
that was on me.
I did the
And
same thing.
Yeah.
But I never wanted to marry any of them. But now I don't
Why'd
want
you
to
date them?
I was just having fun. I was just like, I didn't know what I was doing.
Were
I
you
didn't
having
have
fun, or like was the fear of, or like not wanting to be alone ever?
no.
a
So I
possibility?
mean, I think I just accidentally just got into a relationship without realizing how serious they were. And, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, how do I get out of this? I had to figure out a way. It was like always a plan of how to escape this situation. So I've been in a lot of those, and then I never thought I was gonna get married, but now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, I don't even want to have sex with you unless you marry me. Like I don't even want to. Like I'm not even having. I don't want to have casual sex.
That's the Kevin Samuels conundrum, though. You know.
What? Oh yeah.
That he's like, well, you've already tossed it up to everyone else. Now you're.
I mean,
a
not
better guy is gonna
everybody
come.
else.
But I'm saying the guys that
No.
you've dated, right? And so now that a guy comes in, he wants
So-
to marry you,
I'll explain that. I just feel that's true, right? But I think
but now he has to wait.
no. Well, yeah, he has to wait. But the thing is, right? I didn't have any guidance. Like you had really good parents, right?
Well,
And
my parents didn't guide me in terms like
nobody
something
guided me anywhere. So I was just like making a lot of mistakes and just not knowing what the
What does
fuck
he
I
say?
was
He says
doing.
the world doesn't owe us.
Nobody owes me nothing, so that's why I'm single and I'm cool. As long as I'm rich, I could be I'm cool with it. Whatever happens, I'm okay with it. I think Andrew Tate is my soulmate, so I'm just waiting for him.
Hey, Andrew, hit us up, please.
Mm-hmm.
Number here is 1-800.
But yeah,
I love Andrew
if I
Tate.
have to be single, like whatever.
But have to be.
You just said what Kevin Samuel says, like, who the fuck are you? You're in your 30s, you have a kid.
I
and
didn't
now-
say all that, but I
No,
said
but that's what he
but he
said.
says like, hey, because most guys who want to get married, we want like they're not gonna wait, right? Like we're not that that type of. I mean, who's really that type of guy? Like, okay, I'll wait.
No, I'm not saying you'll have to wait
Well,
to
you said-
marry me to fuck me. I'm just saying
but
I
you-
have to
okay,
really
that's-
like you. Like I have to feel like, okay, I like this guy. I'm not just gonna
Okay.
fuck you just like, oh, whatever. If it works out, it works out.
Oh,
Like I
perfect.
have to
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
intention behind it.
Yeah, of course. And
And I want to get to know you. Like if we go to dinner and and things start getting weird, like I'm not fucking you. I'm not gonna even see you after the
What
first
if things
date.
go really well?
That's great. Still not fucking you. At least 3 dates. At least 3 dates.
Are you paying for?
I'm not paying for shit.
Okay, so
I'm not
so
paying
she's-
for
that guy.
shit.
So that guy has to pay
Yes.
and invest 3 weeks of his time.
3
to
weeks?
Not just 3 weeks.
We can
Oh
go
my
to
god.
Chipotle. Hold on.
Okay.
We can go to the drive-through at McDonald's and hang out and smoke a blunt there. I don't need you to buy me $300
All 3
dinners.
dates.
I'm cool with it.
Bet.
Until you guys get
Bet.
married, in
I'm
which
cool with
she
it.
wants to be a very well-kept woman.
What do you mean well kept? I'm fucking well kept already.
You've
I
already
keep
said
myself well.
You've
I don't
multiple
need nothing
times.
from nobody. I said if
You've-
a man wants me to stay at home and not
Hell
work
yeah.
anymore, then he has to make sure that I'm good.
Is that the goal?
No, that's not the goal. I told you what the goal
What's
is.
the goal?
Marrying Andrew Tate.
Yeah, but if that
Okay,
besides-
a second goal?
Yeah.
I don't have if I
Dang,
meet a
someone
guy
has to be your second goal. That's like,
that sucks, right?
yeah, it sucks.
I know.
It's like, can I take you on a date? It's like, oh, well, you're second. Even if you win, you're second.
I know, right? I mean, it's just hard for me to like find a guy that I can relate. Like that, I haven't met one guy that I'm like, I like this guy. Just you know what I mean? Like, and I've been single for, let's say 3 years. Not that I'm out there like that, but I meet guys and I'm just like, ugh.
Well, I mean, you gotta. Where are you meeting these guys, and are you meeting them with intention, like purpose?
No, but I can just spot red flags, or we just don't. We're not compatible.
But like, if you want to marry a certain type of guy, then you should figure out where those guys are at.
I don't know where they're at. Maybe they don't even exist.
That's true. That's true. They're unicorns. I mean,
unicorns.
men look for certain women that don't exist either. So
Right.
it's just, I think it's just a defense mechanism not to engage, so you don't get hurt. I mean,
That's what the last guest said to me. But I've tried to engage.
no, you just said that all these guys were red flags and not.
They're not compatible. I could tell I could tell if I like you from the first moment I meet you. I could tell right away. If I don't like you right away, like that, if I don't feel it right away, it's not going to work.
And it's, what's funny is that I have the same sort of thing. So I realized this later down the line that the girls that I did date for, I only was in like maybe 3 or 4 serious relationships, but I knew instantly when I met them, like the second I met them, and then I tried to ask myself why, what was it? Because they were all different races, different, from different like social and economic, places, but it was they were some sort of reflection of my mother, and my mom, she had some ups and downs in terms of, she was very loving and caring and nurturing, and but she also had a rough childhood. So some of those things would manifest in like just a little crazy, like a little wild. I mean, we're all crazy. It's just about how much crazy you can handle, right? But so then I realized that, oh, if you're a little off your rocker, then like I'm interested.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
But that was just my
just a little. You can't be too crazy.
I mean,
because they ruin everything. They fuck up the business.
No, you can't fuck up the business. But I mean,
but if they're crazy, it's not fun. I don't think crazy is fun.
It can be.
Not for me. I don't like crazy.
You don't think you're a little?
I'm a little off, but I'm not like gonna fuck shit up. I'm not gonna like cut up your shoes and like key your car.
Oh
and,
yeah,
like,
that's on some other shit.
But that's
I've had my car tagged on before.
I'm not doing all that. Like if you piss me off really bad, I'm gonna ignore you.
Shut down? Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm gonna ignore you for like 2 weeks.
That's too long.
Too long? Maybe a few days.
I was gonna say because
a few days.
You seem like you're softy too, though. Like it'd be like, come on, and you'd be like, oh no.
It just depends how. Like I feel like it depends.
It depends on what day of the month it is.
Or what you're doing. Yeah,
it does.
But I'm like a silent. I just go.
I could tell.
I go dark.
You go and then.
Yeah. I unfortunately I would be the kind of guy that wouldn't notice.
Well, I wouldn't date you.
Yeah, well, of course. but that kind of like move, I would go 2 weeks and just not.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, I'd go, oh man, shit, I haven't heard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty tapped into like relationships because now my whole life. I mean, my parents were pretty involved and pretty like the communication was wide open and my mom encouraged me to love. I remember I stole one of her rings in like 3rd grade to give to a girl.
Aww.
And then it was like a really important ring and I told her and the girl had thrown it away. But she was like, she was more happy that I was in a mindset to like love. And so she wanted to support that and not
I love your parents. I don't even know them. I love them.
Well, they are, they are in me now.
Oh my God.
So.
And your dad sounds like solid as shit. Like,
yeah, my dad. I mean, they were both solid. My dad kind of doesn't really communicate about a lot of his stuff that's going on in him, and that's just kind of his defense mechanism and his survival mechanism. But the thing I've realized too is that a lot of our survival mechanisms that we developed as children are no longer necessary, right? And they actually hinder us from thriving. So,
but you're used to it. You know what I mean? It's the only way. I
understand that. Yeah. But like just like anything else in life, you seem very business oriented. Mm-hmm. If you're used to your business, then you're probably not growing.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? You do some, you step out, and that's the same thing you got to do with life if you expect or want anything.
Well, if people want to change, right? Some people are just comfortable where they're at. They're just like, leave me alone.
Now when you say are you? Is this you or
no,
others?
not me. I'm not comfortable where I'm at. I'm saying, but like, let's say
you'll come
your
out
dad,
of your
right?
zone.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of that comfort zone is like people that you may not necessarily click with, right? I go out of my way to get to know people that I don't necessarily click with right away because it's interesting.
Yeah.
But they don't want to. They don't want to get to. They don't want.
That's not necessarily true. Yeah, like no, it's not necessarily true.
Because bro, I just made a girl cry yesterday. I just told you by accident. Can you? How
but
would I
be
be
able a youngster.
To click? But if people, you know what it is, I could just with me. I feel like you either hate me or you love me. Like there's no in between.
But no, we want to get to know you.
Who? If they want to get to know me, they could get to know me. So
my name's Matt.
Al, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I mean, I took the same risk. You and I have very different positions and philosophies.
Me and you have a unique situation.
Very, very rare, I guess, that people come together when they're so opposite.
But we came together through work.
That's correct. And work is actually what keeps us together.
Right. Because if we were just friends, we wouldn't be friends.
That's probably true.
Right.
I don't have any friends really.
But I was just about to say, but that's the extension of my a lot of my relationships are work based.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of work, and I realized I was dating this girl recently, and she's like, she had all these guy friends and all these friends, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, let's just time out. Like, how these guy friends or these friends that you have, right? How often do you see them? And it was like once every 6 months. I'm like, okay, I consider that an acquaintance, not really a friend. My friends know the intimate details about my life, and they know where I'm at. I check in with them. It's effort. It's a lot of, a lot of effort, actually.
Maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance. There you go. Thank you.
It's funny there too, right? And I don't know if this isn't like a entertainment industry thing. I've heard many people kind of have that same take as you, and I think I borrow from it. But like most of the people in my circle who are like intimate friends, I would consider them more collaborators than I do friends. Like I always check in with them in my life. Like, am I making the right decisions? Did I make the right business call?
I guess, yeah.
Creativity wise, am I going in the right direction? And they always have valuable feedback for me. There's a great YouTube video about your confidants, your constituents, and I forgot what the third C is, right? But it delineation, right? Like your acquaintances are at a distance. Your confidants are in your circle. And I can't help but work-wise to surround myself with people who I call my friends, because that's what matters to me most, is getting to that next place in life, getting to that next thing of where I want to be. I don't want to be around someone I just have lunch with casually. Like waste of my time.
Some people do,
really.
though, and some people do. And this really just like kind of opened my eyes to, this particular woman. She moved around a lot as a child. She didn't have a ton of friends. She always started new schools, 12 moves or something like that. So the definition of friend, or the importance of friend to someone who hopped around, didn't have any sort of roots anywhere, and sort of like lifelong friends, is probably pretty important, pretty high on the list, right? To have some people that you can call your friends. And so I realized, like, okay, so some of the definitions kind of.
Yeah, I always had guy friends.
Yeah, but what does Andrew Tate say about guy friends?
I know.
What did he say?
I mean, I would cut them off. I'm cutting everybody off for you. I'm gonna delete my Instagram. I'll move to Dubai. The only thing I'm not gonna do is convert. 'Cause I'm Jewish. I can't convert to Islam. Besides that, you could keep your other wives because you seem like a lot of work. So we could do like 2-3 days a week.
Could you handle that?
Yeah, 2-3 days a week. Yeah, I can handle it.
I don't think she could.
I could.
I don't think so.
I'll do. Yeah, I'm with it. I just. Yeah, I'm cool.
You can be submissive.
Yeah.
I'm asking.
What, like, how submissive? Like,
I don't know. Ask it. I mean, Andrew seems pretty, masculine.
Okay, so I'm not a poodle, right? But I could be like a female wolf, and I could just,
Oh yeah, no.
just be right here.
But he wants a poodle.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't know what he wants. He hates these fucking poodles. You need a real one, and that's what I am. He doesn't know. You know how people describe what they want, but they don't really know what the fuck they want, and then who they end up with is completely different than what they said?
Yeah, because I mean, most people say what they think is good, or they think that other people want to hear. But yeah, I mean, and it takes a lot of self-reflection to be able to know what you want. And most people can't even reflect on their daily activities, let alone what they want out of life or a partner. So,
we touched base on that on another episode as well, is that importance of introspection, that importance of that self-healing journey,
self-awareness,
that self-awareness, right? Like if you don't have that, what's the point of even engaging in, like when 100%. You said dating with intent, right? Yeah. Like why even start dating with intent if you haven't even done any kind of self-reflection?
They don't, unfortunately. I mean, people who don't reflect on themselves and kind of how they got to a certain point, or what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right, all these things, they never date with intention. They just date on a whim.
I've never dated with intention before. Until now. I haven't even dated with intention now. I haven't met anyone to date with, but like I've always been like, I like that.
Well, you're waiting for Andrew. So I mean,
I'm not.
Everybody who comes up to you is like lame to
not
you.
Andrew.
So yeah, exactly. So
I know.
You
What can I do? I've been looking around. Ain't nothing there.
He's not here.
I know.
You've been looking for him.
But I'm saying, like, I don't know.
What about Andrew is so enticing in terms of like what could other men do?
Raw testosterone.
Yeah, no.
No.
I don't know
really
if he has
loves
that.
the
It's not
raw
that.
testosterone.
It's not that. It's
No, but
intelligence. I hate stupid men. I hate men that I feel like I'm smarter than them. Like I want a guy who could teach me something, or like.
Well, but are you in a position to be taught?
Why not?
I'm saying mentally.
I want to respect somebody. Like I want to meet someone that I don't want to yell at him. I don't want to curse him out.
I'm gonna push back a little.
What?
I do not think you want someone to teach you shit you already know.
No, new shit.
Bullshit.
New shit.
I'm calling.
Make me a better chess player.
I don't play chess.
Oh no,
Well,
I'm
not
not
you,
talking
but I'm
about.
saying
I'm not talking about
anyone.
just chess.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying if
chess,
someone
fuck
has
chess.
something to offer you,
What does that have to do with life?
that,
No, I'm
Make you a
saying-
better woman.
Fine.
Yeah.
Make me a better woman.
I
That's all
just
it's
don't
about.
think. I don't think you're going to be in a position to say, yeah, okay, teach
I'm
me.
with. Yes, I
If
am.
it's
I'm telling you right now. I'm with it. I want to be a better person.
She said it here.
And I
folks.
don't. I want a guy that I don't want to. That I could talk to him and not fucking curse him out. Like I want to talk to you like
Curse
I
me.
love you. No, I don't want to curse you. I want to love you. I want to like nurture you and love you and like ride or die for you and like support you and be your cheerleader. Like
But
that's.
what about Andrew
I
Tate?
don't wanna
Is that-
hate you.
Is that, do you see that in him, or like what does he do?
He just
besides
reminds me of
intelligence?
me. He.
So there you
he's
go.
like a
There you
reflection
go.
of me.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here.
That's what that's what it is. He's just me. If I
So
was
you're
a
in
man.
love with yourself.
Self,
You're,
yes.
you just admitted you're a narcissist.
Wow, that's how you're gonna put it.
I mean, we do look for people who are similar to us, and then we actually look for people who look like us more than anything. So if you're attracted to somebody, you should like it's actually they've done tons of studies.
I mean, it just
But you like his attitude. I mean, there's some things with him that I don't agree with, but I think his overall message for the younger generation is a good one. Unfortunately, a lot of people, and I'm in the film industry, so it's a lot of progressives, I guess is their new title that they like to go by, who see the little clips and they think he's a complete misogynist and he has no good insight for the youth. But if you look at what the young men in this country are like, who's inspiring them and who's motivating them,
Right.
I mean, there's not really a ton.
There's no one.
And unfortunately, the father's out of the home.
Yes.
Because the mother gets more money from welfare. So the incentive is
Well,
there.
welfare. There's no money in welfare. There's no money in
But there's more
anything.
money. I mean, the average man makes $45,000 a year.
How much do you get on welfare?
About
$1,000.
$45,000. Yeah, you get about that. And then the more kids you have, the more money you
No.
get. Yeah.
It's not $45,000 a year for welfare. You get like $1,000 a month.
No, but $45,000 is how much he makes. It's not how much like is actually coming home.
Who can survive like this?
That is the average. Average.
America is poor.
Yeah, that's the average. That's why when they ask women like, well, do you want to stay at home or do you want to do this? You want to have kids? And they're like, how much money does that take to actually support that family? It's going to be up in the $200,000-$300,000 range.
It's expensive to have kids. You know how much daycare is?
No,
Guess.
1,500.
How much you're paying versus how much other people are
No,
paying is
listen.
vastly
That's why you have
different.
family.
Hold
That's
on
why
a
you have
second.
family.
Hold
You
on a
have
second.
family.
I checked the average daycare in LA is $1,500
Yeah,
a month.
$1,500.
That's
That's
how
what I
much
said.
I pay.
That's what I said.
$1,500 a month. That's like fucking rent.
Yeah, that's what I said. No,
And
wait,
that's
where are
just-
you living for
that's
$1,500?
I don't know. In a room. in a room in Koreatown.
Yeah.
It's what she's charging for the closet she has available in the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So if you
It's-
need a
But
room,
that's just the daycare. What about everything else?
no, of course. That's why you have family, though. You want to.
I don't have any family out here. I'm my own family.
Well, I mean, that's a choice.
She does it by herself.
Yeah, that's
right?
commendable.
And I do like one of the things I will always listen to her perspective, as vastly different as we are, is because her perspective is vastly different, right? She doesn't have like the support system that some people do. She's
Yeah.
out here trying to do things. She's taking risks with her own money, right? So
That's
it's
good.
like I will always have to make sure I take a pause and listen to what she
Yeah,
says
absolutely.
because of the perspective.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
But of course, there are like a host of different things that
But just when you think about the average amount of money that people make, I think for women it's even lower. It's like 30,000, right? And who can survive on that?
No one.
Yeah, but
But it
people do.
happens.
Yeah,
People
people
do.
do. I mean, people. I think that the two person income is like 65,000. That's before taxes, right? So you're making about 50,000.
You can't live off
collectively.
that, bro.
You can. You live to your means. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
live
it's not a good
My
way of
parents
life.
live like that. That's
I
how
can't.
That's how I grew up.
You know what? Well, if you don't know another way of life, then
Exactly.
it's
But
okay.
But see, my parents made us sit down. Even when we ate top ramen or McDonald's, whatever, Taco Bell, whatever it was, we had to have a family dinner. So we had to eat together. We had to talk about our day. I didn't know any different. I didn't even know there was other cheeses besides yellow and white until I got out of high school. So, my childhood experience, which we reflected on, and how impactful it was to me, I came from that sort of income. So I don't think it's the money that makes the parents.
which is a great skill for you to have on set. Every penny counts.
Oh, of course,
That-
budget everything,
yeah.
But it just goes to, it's more so about what lifestyle the parents want to live. But I feel like once you have a child, it's not about you anymore. as an individual. It's about your children, right? So every cent goes.
Well, you
to
still
them.
got to make money though for your children to survive.
Of course. But like my dad would go, 12 hours, drive an hour, wait in traffic, go to work for 8 hours.
They don't
come
have
home.
men like your dad anymore.
I'm
they
right
don't
here.
exist.
We're right
Well,
here.
I think
well,
they
then you're
exist.
you're
Yeah,
a diamond
you're
in the rough.
You hear that, ladies? I'm a diamond in the rough.
You
Please
are.
call me. My number is 8.
He
Beep, beep,
is
beep.
because you come from a good family. You come from a solid family.
I think there are a lot of men
No,
who
there
are
aren't.
very similar.
No, there
but,
aren't.
but unfortunately, they work jobs that are, middle class. Maybe the guy at the gas station or the guy that was at Target who helped us or something like.
And she won't look at them.
No. You look at them, but you don't register them on your. If you actually take a day for yourself and just go through the day and count how many men you actually either see or interact with, you don't have to be attracted to them, but just count them up, and then think about. Maybe the day before that, you only think about the men that you were attracted to. It'll be 3, and then the next day might be 150 men. So you see 150 men, but you really only see 3 of them because 3 of them.
But what are you gonna do? What can you do about that?
No,
if I'm not attracted to you, what can I do with you?
A lot. I mean, I think attraction is for women are supposed to be attractive. Men are supposed to bring stability.
Yeah, men you know what? You have to court a woman. So even if she doesn't like you, you have to.
But
keep trying.
how could you court a woman nowadays when
have
just
no idea.
approaching you can get
Done.
Yeah,
Finished.
yeah.
Why? For approaching and saying hi, I think you're beautiful.
In college right now, you can't even look at a woman because you can get accused of eye raping or whatever that is.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, it's a big thing.
sensitive. Like there's a lot of
why?
sensitivity.
Because we need to finish with this sensitive bullshit.
But you know what the only difference is? They've asked women, what's the only difference between a creepy guy and a non-creepy guy? What do you think?
Is if I know the answer.
What?
Is if you don't like him or not.
Looks.
If it's attractive or not, that's it. Yeah. But so then
If you want him to flirt with you, it's not creepy. If you don't like him,
then
it's
as
creepy.
a man, I have to decipher within like a split second, does she think I'm attractive or not? And then say yes. Then
But really, what can you do if you approach me? I'm not gonna call the police on you.
You won't, but there are women who.
And what is
in
the
guys' lives.
police gonna do, bro? You can go to fucking Rite Aid and shoplift, and nobody's gonna do shit. My car just got robbed in front of my house for mad shit. Nobody did anything.
That's not approaching a woman and being ugly.
But it doesn't. Nothing's
And
gonna
being
happen.
ugly is a crime.
Stop
It is.
believing the bullshit. That's just not. Nothing's gonna happen to you. You could approach a woman. She just might tell you no.
I don't mind approaching. I mean, I'm talking about me personally. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I have confidence. It's an honor for me to be talking to you.
No matter how much confidence you have, if you're fugly, it doesn't get you very far.
Thank you, Mom and Dad. I appreciate you guys very much.
We actually have a lot of appreciation for them on this show.
Yeah,
They
I love
came
them.
through with some great positive energy.
Yeah, they definitely, raised a healthy young man.
Fantastic. Well, we definitely have to have you back because
Yeah.
there's so much more to talk
Yeah,
about.
absolutely. We didn't even get to talk about how similar we are.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm actually appreciating the differences.
Yeah, and I was gonna say we actually showed a little bit.
Yeah, we're a little bit different. He comes from a more stable family than I do. Mine's a little.
And
at some point in our life, it's up to us, regardless of whatever we came from, to make the most out of it and to
do the right thing.
Yeah,
to try better, right?
Yeah, to fix whatever.
That's true.
Yeah,
progress, not
that
perfection.
happened to us, and now it's up to us to change it.
Absolutely.
So
really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you
guys
for the
having me.
perspective. You got to come back.
Oh,
we got to circle back around to this conversation
for sure.
Andrew, please.
Yeah. Well, when Andrew's on, we'll have you back.
Oh, please.
Yeah, so we can get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm so happy I got to meet you in real life.
Real life.
He's dope.
This has been another episode of Tacos and Shawarma with Al and Sebastian.
Wow,
I got it right this time. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.